Chapter 164. A huge blue lightning bolt struck the ground hard. This lightning bolt still tried to maintain a continuous strength, and under the ground, an egg had broken. This egg is familiar, isn't it? It is the dragon egg lying at the command center of Misty Mountain. After so many days of waiting, finally this shell was broken. The dragon egg carrying the 1,000 rays of hope of the divine tree finally hatched. Crack! The sound of breaking echoed powerfully. A large black wing burst out of the eggshell. Immediately after, a fierce dragon escaped, its mouth constantly screaming, like a newborn baby will cry, while this dragon will roar to intimidate its surroundings. Truly a legendary creature. At this time, Lan Feng and his sister had witnessed everything. They had a responsibility to protect this dragon egg, and indeed it was lucky. This miraculous moment was witnessed by the two siblings in its entirety. Immediately stunned, the pink-haired younger sister just sighed and called her brother's name. Lan Feng widened his eyes, sweat pouring out soaking his body. He whispered, "I never thought in our lifetime we could witness the birth of this creature. This is the birth of a legend." Lan Feng and his sister just watched from a distance. On the other side, the black dragon still proudly spread its wings, facing the lightning bolt and rushing up, as if enjoying a purification ceremony under the lightning in a sacred way, along with the dragon's roar echoing across the sky. The eldest nine-tailed fox sister still silently observed from the highest place of Misty Mountain. She had witnessed everything, but her face was still solemn, cold, as if in the eyes of the nine-tailed fox was a plan for the next decades of this place. The hatching of the dragon egg was just an inevitability. In the city where Divine Tree is occupying, there is not a single wind, the whole area is silent. Divine Tree gently said, "All the sea beasts have retreated, haven't they? But they will definitely come back." But in Divine Tree's head, there are still many thoughts. It seems that, as the system said, the darkness will definitely come. I don't know what its shape is. The only thing that Divine Tree knows, that is, the minions of the darkness will be similar to that whale, extremely powerful. So the final boss of the darkness will definitely be an extremely powerful entity. Thinking of this, Divine Tree's face immediately tightened, sinking into worry. Divine Tree looked at Xiaoling standing on a tree branch. He gently encouraged, "Xiaoling, you have worked hard this time." Xiaoling just smiled quietly. Her beautiful face always exudes a warm and happy look when she is near Divine Tree. Divine Tree glanced to one side, suspiciously asked, "And who are you?" "There is the Divine Elephant standing." This guy appeared next to Xiaoling throughout the battle. Because of the dangerous situation, Divine Tree identified him not as an enemy, so he didn't ask much. At this time, the Divine Elephant has fully recovered. His body has returned to its robust appearance. His intelligence is clear, and his eyes are also bright like car lights. Divine Tree squinted his eyes, bluntly questioned, "I wonder why you helped us. Why did you help humans? What is your purpose?" The Divine Elephant is very serious at this time, answering honestly, "I am a giant elephant from Sky Mountain, a descendant of the gods, and also the natural enemy of the darkness." Divine Tree heard the answer, immediately startled. He did not mishear. This elephant said that he is the natural enemy of the darkness. It's just right. Divine Tree is also in need of more information about the darkness. Divine Tree, like a drowning man who caught a lifebuoy, quickly asked, "Who is the darkness after all? How much do you know about this dark guy?" The Divine Elephant was asked the right question, immediately answered seriously like an expert. "The darkness is not a creature, but a form of energy." Divine Tree heard this, felt surprised. Not a creature but an energy form? This completely overturned all the doubts of Divine Tree before. It seems that more than 2,000 strategies to defeat the darkness of Divine Tree will have to be rebuilt from the beginning. The Divine Elephant looked at the horrified face of Divine Tree and immediately continued, "Do you know? The darkness is the energy that everyone is very familiar with. Everyone is using it." At this point, Divine Tree, with his extraordinary intelligence, immediately understood, "You mean its spiritual power?" The Divine Elephant, with eyes as bright as car headlights, nodded in agreement. "Yes, it is spiritual power." Damn, the answer really made Divine Tree and Xiaoling goosebumps. Their enemy is spiritual power? It is the power they are still using every day. It seems a bit complicated. Like studying philosophy in a university program, it is difficult to clarify for a moment. Divine Tree and Xiaoling silently waited for the Divine Elephant to continue explaining. The Divine Elephant continued. To put it simply, our planet is like a perpetual machine that constantly produces spiritual power. These spiritual powers are absorbed by animals. But if the spiritual power is not completely absorbed, it will be pushed out of the planet, so that the planet does not have to bear the state of full spiritual power. The Divine Elephant looked up at Divine Tree and said, "But what about the spiritual power inside the dead creatures?" Thinking of this, Divine Tree felt worried, sweating like rain, because energy does not disappear on its own, but only changes from one form to another. E equals mc squared, Divine Tree answered. Is it like spiritual power? These spiritual powers of dead animals will disperse in space, right? In the eyes of the Divine Elephant, there was a deep and wise light. He slowly answered, "No, the spiritual power of dead creatures will be released to another world. That is the underworld, where energy does not dissipate but continuously accumulates. To a certain limit, this energy block becomes extremely powerful, generating thoughts, forms, and desires. Then, because of the desire to survive in this negative spiritual power, this creature will find a way back to our world. Therefore, the spiritual power of the dead creatures is the essence of the darkness, or it can be called Death Spirit." Divine Tree felt a chill all over his body, like when he was a child listening to an old man telling a terrifying ghost story. Divine Tree softly asked, "If it comes to this world, what will happen?" The Divine Elephant replied, "The nature of the dark spiritual power and the spiritual power of this world are inherently conflicting, so when it appears it will cause this world to separate. The last time the darkness invaded, all the strong people around the globe united against it. The result was a successful expulsion, but both normal spiritual power and dark spiritual power disappeared, because they are one." Hearing this, Divine Tree immediately associated it with a book of a general who had reincarnated into a strong era, in which the previous era was described as follows: "The whole world is in chaos, the world wants to return to the beginning, collapse and be engulfed in chaos." So is it talking about the conflict of these two types of spiritual power that are one? The Divine Elephant urgently said at this time. But the strange thing is, it takes 3,000 years for the darkness to invade once. This time it is not that cycle. Xiaoling also anxiously spoke. If it advances to this world, won't everything? But before she could finish her sentence, Divine Tree reassured, "No need to worry." Divine Tree became decisive. His words were cold as a god. "Just know that it can be killed, then everything is simple." According to what the Divine Elephant said, isn't it often beaten by humans to run back to its place? So it's not an invincible entity. Divine Tree immediately had a glimmer of hope. Divine Tree looked at Xiaoling, who was still silently worrying. He said, "Xiaoling, go back to humans. There are many things you have to do, right? I also have to return to Misty Mountain." Divine Tree squinted at the Divine Elephant. "Now this guy is definitely an ally," Divine Tree asked. "What about you?" The Divine Elephant said, "I will stay with Xiaoling for a while. I suspect that the sea beasts will continue to counterattack soon." Is the Divine Elephant infatuated with Xiaoling? Divine Tree didn't pay much attention. In his head now he only thought about how to defeat the darkness. The sea beasts have become the minions of the darkness. If now go to their headquarters and punch the chairman to death, then it's okay. But it will make the darkness stronger. The paradox is that each creature itself wants to be stronger, must go to destroy other creatures, including Divine Tree, and when a creature falls, then the darkness becomes stronger. The sea waves have become more gentle, no more war. Thousands of meters under the ocean, the sea beast kings are standing before their leader. The mermaid queen is also here. She is one of the sea beast kings of the sea. In her head now she understands why this war had to end. Because 3 out of 7 kings of the sea were killed, and most of the other kings also lost, including this great prophetic whale. Looking at this water dragon is really pitiful, one of the most handsome kings of the sea, yet was beaten by the land creatures until there was no armor left. The whale squinted his eyes looking down at the sea beast kings. He whispered, "It's also because I was too subjective, not knowing that the mainland had appeared a transcendent fourth order. leading to this tragic situation. The whale solemnly admonished carefully, "After I die, you must not advance to the mainland anymore. Instead, prioritize unifying the entire sea first." These words sound very solemn, like the last words of an old dying father, so all the sea beast kings respectfully listened without missing a word. The whale continued, "Then, you must wait for that great character to resurrect." All the sea beast kings unanimously shouted, "Yes." Immediately after, the whale curled up, rushed to the darkest part of the sea, which is the deepest trench of this ocean, swam for quite a long time. Suddenly a golden light crack burst open, like an eye opening. From this crack, thousands of light hands rushed out, as if wanting to swallow the prophetic whale in. In no time, the whale's fins, the whale's body were wrapped by these light hands. That is a huge bright eye, opening bigger and bigger, wanting to engulf the prophetic whale inside. Perhaps this is a mysterious sacrificial ritual. End of chapter 164.